No one's been able to get past her in regulation in the tournament.
Here we go. From Lakewood Ranch and kickoff. One team headed back to the NCAA tournament. UTSA in white. Rice is in blue. Early action in this one as the Owls come into this game at 10-3-6 on the year. Finished 3-2-5 in the American in the regular season. Some incredible wins to be able to find their way to the title game. That's 15 on your screen. Piper Bizoric, as well as 24 for UTSA. Aaliyah Durden, who had an incredible goal against Memphis to level that and send us to overtime in the semis. But it's a Rice team that beat Tulsa, then beat USF. They've scored just one goal in regulation in their two games down here in Lakewood Ranch, but defensive-minded for Brian Lee. They will be hard to break down against the Roadrunners.
But that's what I also say, Aria, why this feels pretty evenly matched on paper, because then when we look at UTSA, this is a team that hasn't given up a ton of goals this season, only 18 goals against. And what that also stems from is the way that they defend. So they like to press forward and get numbers, but they also will get their team back behind the ball when needed. So they can shift around in their shape. And it was so interesting talking with head coach Derek Pittman. Loved our conversation, by the way. He was fantastic. And just when he talked to this team, they got to solve problems. He said that's what it comes down to. He said it a little bit differently on our call, but at the end of the day, when a team comes out in a different shape or something's not going your way, solve the problem. And I think that's also why you've seen this UTSA make the run that they have in the tournament and the success that they had against Memphis.
No doubt about it. There was a lot more French in our conversation with Coach Pittman, who said he was so emotional. Said I'm an emotional guy. I don't want to tear up, but that win against Memphis, as a couple of players go down, nothing doing there, but said this group, the culture they've had all year, it's a testament to who we've been. They love playing with each other. And I found it interesting that Rice head coach Brian Lee even said we have to match the heart and hustle that UTSA will play with here today.
Yeah, it was clear that this Rice team knew, they were very clear with how UTSA shows up and how they play for one another. And I do think it's a Rice team that very much can answer what will be asked of them today. It's what this comes down to, in my mind. Both these teams have proven if it comes down to 90 minutes, they'll fight. 110, they'll do it. PKs, they'll find a way. But it's also a Sunday, and it's hot. And these teams have played in multiple rounds. Neither one of them wants it to go that far. So in this 90, who wants it more?
We're going to go back down to Maria.
Well, another part of this mentality for UTSA is what they call OLM, guys, off-leash mentality. Jasmine Kessler told me that they want to play on the field like they're a group of rabid dogs. I mentioned them barking in those semifinal matchups. The bench will bark at opposing teams. They're super animated both on and off, that they want to embody. And when you talk about the culture of the Roadrunners, this is part of it.
No doubt about it. He gave us the 3 T's, right? All 3 of us went to talk to Coach Pittman before the game. He talked about teamwork, toughness, and trust. And I thought that was so important for that group because they relied on it, right? Not an entirely offensive bunch. They have to play with compact defensive ability and finding goals late. A 3-goal performance against Memphis, pretty impressive for the Roadrunners here this season. As an early opportunity now for Rice, but flag went up. It will be offside. That was Leah Chansey. You got to keep an eye on her, 23 for the Owls, who's been a star for Brian Lee. He's been such a terrific coach at a number of stops. Furman, LSU, now Rice. Took him to a Sweet 16 to the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament just a couple of seasons ago. Early action here at the Premier Sports Complex in Lakewood Ranch. Aria Masudi, Morgan Bowen, Maria Trival-Peace, our entire crew. Back to the keeper. That's Kessler. She is a huge boot. And that's a weapon for Derek Pittman's group. Comes in at 9-5-6 on the year. They finished the regular season in the American at 4-3-3. Looking for the through ball there. Nice touch. Snuffed out, though, by Durden.
Oh, and I like that idea for the little slip ball from Albers trying to find the run in behind, but this UTSA back line, they're tight defensively, very organized. You can also see there's not a ton of space between the back four, and then they're holding midfielders with Varela and Kelly sitting a little bit deeper. So it's a great idea from Rice and that touch from Albers, but there's not a ton of space to play that ball in.
Into the channel, springing forward. Here come the Owls. Olivia Duval towards that edge of that 18 on that right side. Cut out there on the end line. A jostle for the ball. It'll be a throw for the Owls.
Well, and Aria, that's incredible defending by number 8, Haley Lopez. She just rides the inside of the attacker there, gets low, a very clean tackle, able to get the ball. But then what doesn't get noticed enough is how quickly she gets up. But well done from Rice on the other end to make sure they maintain possession.
Lopez, the fifth-year senior from Dallas, Texas. Ball inside towards that penalty spot near the 6, cleared out. Early on, though, Rice finding some good spots, getting some pressure on that UTSA back line. AD 14. 27 for the Owls. Callie McKinney on the throw, the senior from nearby Tampa, Florida. It's about 45 minutes. She went to Plant High School. The UTSA team that wants to play direct will pick their spots out to get forward. They do want to keep numbers behind the ball, pressing good spots. On the touch, that's 13, Zoe May, a star. Terrific ball forward. Brooklyn Bailey, dangerous into the attack. She's got a 1v1 onto her left foot. Fires it! Oh, she nearly had the opener. Whistles by the post, and that's what UTSA can do.
Oh my goodness, Brooklyn Bailey getting on this ball. She goes right at the back line. I love how she dribbles straight at Jaeger to force her to make a decision. She lets that one go with her left foot. Does not miss the far post by much. This is a beautiful finish, just has a spin outward, but that's two really key freshmen for both sides. It's Bailey getting forward on the attack for UTSA, and then Rice, they put Jaden Jaeger on that back line today.
That's a really good ball in. Oh, the Owls almost had it just on the other edge. It was touched out for a corner. Who was the final ball to? That's Chansey, one of the leaders in the conference in goals.
Well, I think Rice has also just unlocked this dangerous ball right on the 6. That's a miscommunication between Lane and Kessler coming off her line. If they can whip that amongst the 6, that will create other opportunities because the back line and Kessler, that communication is not there.
From that left corner flag, in swinging ball, set piece is going to be important here today. Ball rolls around. Oh, it was at the edge of the 6. Just begging for an Owl to pounce on it. But now Rice will recycle and try and find this opener. They've looked dangerous in the early going on the cut back inside. Shot near post into the side netting.
Well, and Aria, what stands out to me about that, as I was mentioning Rice and how dangerous that ball is when it's whipped across the 6, is because as a back line, you have to be able to communicate and know that your goalkeeper is coming out. And at that point, you want to shield any player. If you can't get to the ball, if you're not clearing it, you have to shield and make a path for the goalkeeper. That was not super clean in that last opportunity. And then what it led to was a set piece for Rice on the corner kick. And we know on both sides that corner kicks can be a game changer in this one.
Yeah, set pieces, no doubt, will be important. You saw Haley Lopez on your screen earlier, and she's gone down here holding lower part of her leg. You hope for the best.
And Lopez goes in for the tackle. Looks like she gets caught on that right foot. That was a tight cut in from the attacker. She tried to shift and pivot. You hope that she's a player. Redshirt senior, she's been a key part of this team, especially in the last few games. And that's not a substitution that they're going to want to make early.
No doubt about it. She has started now in the last 8 matches here for the Roadrunners as Derek Pittman continues to give instructions. Hate to see that. Do want to remind you, though, that tonight, ESPN and the all-new ESPN app, our next men's basketball matchup. Scott Drew and Baylor host 2-0 Washington in a good early season test for both at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. You can also watch it on the all-new ESPN app. College hoops is back in action. Crossover season is upon us. There's 00 Jasmine Kessler on your screen as Lopez gets tended to gingerly as she walks off. And now we'll need full help. That just breaks your heart. As Riley Miller, the senior from Midland, Texas, a transfer from Tarleton State, will come into the game. She does have 8 starts on the season and now in her 21st appearance. So some experience in. But that's a big loss for the Roadrunners. Derek Pittman felt like Lopez was a big part of why the defense had taken a few steps forward here as of late. Both teams have looked dangerous so far. They've had good opportunities. Still deadlocked at 0-0. Here on ESPN News, we'll get you to ESPNU at the conclusion of the ACC championship game. Stanford and Notre Dame are having an instant classic over in Cary. Ball played forward. That was Cameron Closa. Now on the turn. Bailey, they call her BB. Inside that 18, stays with it. Ball takes a ricochet and deflects out for a throw.
Aria, the way that UTSA is playing right now, playing that ball in to Bailey, she has to turn and be special because there's no other runners, but they're waiting for her to turn the corner. You can see how confident they are when she faces up. And then there's some runners on the back post, but I want to see a little bit more combination. But we also know she can let that ball go.
In a good spot here, the touch, huge save. Kirsten Ruff comes up huge. Oh my goodness, the junior keeps us at 0-0.
Ruff is so quick coming off her line and confident here. I love this little touch through, and it's just on the bounce. You see there getting in behind is Bailey, but Ruff does a really nice job getting to that ball first.
Throw in coming. Brooklyn Bailey, an American freshman team member, leads the team in assists with those 5. Had one actually against Rice in the regular season matchup. That game ending in a draw, 1-1. Terrific touch. In a good spot, crunching tackle. Addie O'Kelly springs it forward, looking for Bailey. But Jager able to get to the ball.
And Aria, you could hear that tackle in the booth, and that is something that this UTSA team prides themselves on. You were also talking about Riley Miller coming in on the back line. She's the captain of this team, and they've also said she's one of the hardest tacklers on their team. So this is a crew that will compete. They're not dirty. It's a clean tackle. It's just going in hard. And you can still see on the backside, Dio Tennyson shaking that one off a little bit just with how hard that one happened.
Yeah, she's struggling to put weight. You can see that she's just trying to give it what she can and maybe run it off. But Tennyson took a massive crunch. Both players, like you said, met the ball about the same exact time. Throw in for the Owls. Made 5 NCAA tournament appearances in their program history, looking for a 6th. Let's take another look at this crunching tackle.
And Tennyson is just going in along with Kelly. They're both going into 50-50 trying to run through the ball. But you see players for UTSA on the back line right there in the midfield. It's Kelly. We've seen Brooklyn Bailey on the attacking side. They run through this, but Rice is still in possession. This is a set piece, and don't just watch the first ball. It's the second one, the third that these teams have the ability to capitalize on.
Corner number 2 for the Owls. Lefty in swinging ball. Dangerous, headed down. Heard a whistle. And maybe some obstruction with the keeper. Like Kessler was being messed with just a little bit. Clever by her as well to get a body into an offensive player. And it is a foul on the Owls. Second team American Conference for Jasmine Kessler, the junior from Spring, Texas. And Derek Pittman said she's a highly intellectual individual and said she's got short-term memory, kind of like Dory. And I didn't think we'd have a Finding Nemo reference with a keeper. But that's very important, isn't it? Give up a goal, doesn't matter. Next play, and she's come up huge in this tournament all week.
I think I unfortunately also struggle with short-term memory things, but I think it's better for the goalkeeper when things don't go your way. But we saw Kessler, I mean, when it came to the penalty kick situation, that's perfect for it, because guess what? If something doesn't go your way, you forget, it's on to the next one. And I do think there's a way to balance that as a player. You want to be able to let the last thing go, and you still care enough to make a difference in the next play.
I think Dio Tennyson is really struggling. After that replay we showed you, the sophomore from Missouri City, Texas, this would be a big loss for Rice if she can't go any further. As you see, Brian Lee out. Has started literally every game after the season opener and has not missed a ton of play in American Conference play. Usually out there for 90 minutes. And you want to have your veterans, and she's only a sophomore, but a veteran playing, right, for 2 years now. You'd like to have them on the pitch if you can in moments like this, in trophy games, as I call them.
Yeah, Tennyson's a player. She started every game since the first match, second on the team in minutes, only been off the field in conference play for 18 minutes of those. So on the back line, it's so key, especially with how it's so good to see her walking off the field and how Rice plays with that diamond in the midfield. They expect a lot of their outside backs, and you've seen her start to get forward. So something to think about, too, is that's also not a position. You can tell she's second on the team in minutes. You don't sub that position a lot. So having to bring someone in, it forces that back line just to get used to new personalities. Granted, they're used to it at training, but in a game setting, that you don't always want that newness.
These two teams meeting now for the 18th time, and Rice has dominated 13-3-1. We talked about that draw back on October 2nd with Bruckner and Bolo each contributing. This is the 5-6 matchup of our American Conference tournament. Talking to both coaches about that last matchup, they remember how direct both teams played, and they felt like the set pieces would be a key in this one. They said, yeah, it's good to have some film, but we're both different teams now in the last couple of months since we played in early October. The energy of this one, I think, is going to will somebody to finding something past a draw, obviously.
100%. And like I mentioned, they don't want this to go to extra time. And then there's still an NCAA tournament bid on the other side of it. So there's so much to play for. And you can tell Rice is checking out Tennyson. They're playing with 10 right now with the hopes that she's able to come back in. That's a good sign, and we obviously hope to see her back on the field.
Here's a corner coming for the Roadrunners. It'll be their first of the afternoon. Another player slow to get up for Rice. Is that Duval? It is. Began her career at Wake Forest in the ACC. Graduate senior. Her 19th start of the year. And Varela will do the honors. Redshirt freshman, in swinging ball towards the edge of that 6-yard box. Cleanup run by Kerrigan. Big tackle, shot. It'll sail wide and a little high as well. That was 44, Izzy Lane, one of the outside backs getting up into the attack.
And for Rice, Piper Bazorek doing her best there to get the ball on the ground. She was able to chest it off the corner. That's not an easy thing to do and bring it back down to her feet. Really well done there. Just unfortunately let the ball get a little bit too far away, but UTSA not able to capitalize.
Izzy Lane, 44, you just saw, set the program record for most ball recoveries versus Memphis in the semis. Derek Pittman was telling us with 22 of them. Being told Tennyson is getting her right leg wrapped. There you go on your screen. I wonder if she can just give it one more go. You know she wants to be out there for her teammates. A throw in. Roadrunners. Turn, cross. Misses everything, top of the net. I meant to ask you, Morgan, earlier, is that one there from Polo? What do you want to see from both of these teams here today?
Well, it's clear that both of these teams don't play for set pieces, but set pieces could totally be a game changer. But what's interesting is we expect to see the goalkeepers being a big part of that from their goal kick. So what is key is winning the first ball, winning a 50-50, getting control of the second and third when that pops down, knowing that it's going to be a little bit more direct from the goalkeepers. And then on both sides, we're going to see service. We've seen it already. I think UTSA has had some success playing the ball forward, finding Brooklyn Bailey in her feet. If she can face up and go at this back line, it forces the back line of Rice, when you're looking at Rusher and Jager, those two players together, it forces them to decide who's going to step, who's not. And then she can either go by herself, we already saw her let one go in a shot, or can the runners get forward. And then when it comes to Rice, this is a team I want to see them compete. We've seen them have a little bit more possession as they've found their way up the field. I like their ideas of slip balls, but how can they pull that back line of UTSA out a little bit higher? I also really want to see Leah Chansey create in the space. Can she find the pockets in between the midfield of UTSA and the back line? Can she find those little spots to slip in and get the ball at her feet to be special?
Kessler really has a boot on her. Still, she can kick it about 70 yards. There she is on your screen as good news for the Owls. Tennyson back on there. Right leg heavily wrapped, though. Great to see number 3 on the pitch. Oh, it's a dangerous ball. Squirting by, but great work there from Keep and Kirsten Ruff, who read it well.
Ruff has done a nice job being able to not just jump off her line, but it's in relation to the space between the back line and her. So the back line is high enough that it does give a little bit of space for UTSA to play that ball in behind, but they're high enough that it's enough space that if Ruff comes out, she's able to get to it before the attacker. So the relationship there has been spot on today.
Ball played into the width, occupied there by Duval. 1v1, trying to get it back to her left foot, and does. Cuts it back to the right, great defending by the Roadrunners. Missed touch from Tennyson. And there is Bailey playing deep now in her half. Build-up play coming from UTSA.
And you could see the idea early on. You could see the attackers for UTSA picking her head up, not able to play it to the other side was Kerrigan. But that whole build-up started from really good 1v1 defending on that back line with Miller coming in. You could see how she got side on, forced the attacker to not have a ton of space, and was able to get a touch in.
Still 0-0 here in our American Conference Final. Bailey back to goal. Couldn't quite bring that ball down with the first touch and was dispossessed. It'll roll out for a throw. Whistle on McKinney. Our head official here today is Melinda Homa. She's using that neon orange right now on your screen as well. The Rice team again with their 10th win. That's now 6 times in the last 7 seasons that Brian Lee has been able to help the Owls get to double digits. Would love an NCAA tournament as that header towards that back post. Just quite not enough on it to really test the keep. And Kessler. I want to remind you that our Week 10 Monday night football matchup, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and the 6-2 Eagles come off the bye, taking on Jordan Love and the 5-2-1 Packers at Lambeau Field. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app with Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. Coverage kicks off with us, NFL Live at 3 Eastern in Green Bay, and Scott Van Pelt and the Monday Night Countdown crew at 6 Eastern. Slow rolling into the box, and Kessler there.
That's a very direct ball trying to play over the top to Albers, but I actually don't hate that opportunity for Rice because even then, coming off of her line, Kessler, there was a bit of a hesitation, and I think Rice can sense that, and can they continue to drop that ball? But the key is when that ball gets played over the top, it has to have the right amount of weight and texture, but I think that could be dangerous.
I'm smiling up here in the booth because I think Michelle Polo thought she was getting away with that. We just did a Monday Night Football, and I think that would have made the Eagles and the Packers both proud. Wasn't quite form tackling, but that was a thud.
A little extra something, but
you got to wrap up next time, right, Michelle?
Yeah, I do think that's good though. Getting Polo in, we haven't seen her off the ball a ton, and the ball being played into her, so that's a good run. I definitely feel this game's starting to open up a little bit more. I think we'll continue to see that as these teams are pushing for run before the end of the first half.
Do you want to see any adjustments from UTSA right now?
I mean, right now, when you look at their defensive shape, I think they're doing a good job defensively. What I do want to see is just no hesitation from Kessler. If she's coming off her back line, she's got to be decisive and get forward. So that is one small change I would love to see.
Nigel Bruckner on the drop. Tennyson testing out that right leg. Not a bad ball. Lofted in and headed out, racing towards it. Lane chased down by Duval, and Lane got a foot to it first on the cross, first time. Service back into the box, cleared away. Enjoying watching Izzy Lane go to work. She has had an active first half. Number 44 for UTSA. Someone's still looking for the opener. Throw in.
Aria, something I would like to see is when UTSA defensively, when they win the ball, they're looking to go forward into Brooklyn Bailey, their front runner, but she's by herself, so she has to hold the ball up. I want to see more combination between her and Zoe May. Can we get Zoe May forward right underneath Bailey to either create, or can the ball go into May's feet and she can turn and face up and then get the width and the runners out wide? But right now, when they win it, since they're sitting so deep, you can even see Bailey. She's right around the American Conference logo, basically with two defenders by herself, so there's not a ton of help if they win it and find her feet. I would love to see more connection there.
Second ball here on the header. It was crashing in. That was Bruckner again from the left side, from that left wing area. Rice seems to have some success, right, getting out wide and finding ways to channel the ball back towards the center of the box.
Well, and they're definitely a team that's looking for service. They're finding that ball wide, whether it's on the run. There hasn't been as much on the dribble getting at the back line, but they're finding those little pockets. It's also an area when they play for Rice, playing in their 4-4-2 diamond, there is spaces in between the three of UTSA before the back line and then outside of their diamond. So that's also where their open spots are. So if they're going to build or if they're going to get the ball in space, it's going to be there.
Rice already has one goal here in this tournament from a set piece similar to the one they're about to take here. And it'll be Jaden Jager, the freshman from Buda, Texas. Lofts it lefty towards that 6-yard box. Kessler had it read the entire way off her line. She was quick. Second coming into this tournament, the American in save percentage, in goals allowed average. Had 5 shutouts. And she's getting close to 200 career saves. It has been a historic career for Jasmine Kessler in goal. Another throw-in.
Yeah, she read that last one really well, but look at her service, playing that ball from her 18-yard box essentially into the foot of her forward in Bree Kerrigan. Not the best touch from Kerrigan, but when you have a goalkeeper who essentially can become a playmaker into your front line and just allows you to skip all of those players, that's not a bad option either. But what is important is if Kerrigan's able to hold on to that ball, what happens from there? That's what I'm saying. Can May get on the ball? Can she create? Or is Kerrigan able to turn and go forward herself?
Kerrigan drops it back. Miller angling for a serve, crosses it in. Good idea there. Good sequence from UTSA. Nobody on the end of it, though. Durden quickly gets it forward. Keep an eye out on Durden, who can get into the midfield herself and create from that back line position. May getting into the tag now is Miller. Service, testing the keeper off. She was on time.
That ball doesn't have enough bend to it, but that is the only issue with that build-up from UTSA. You saw that they were patient. It started with moving the ball around the back. Then they found it through the midfield, found the weak side. That's the first time we've really seen this Roadrunner team look to play beyond just direct, and it switches things up. I'd love to see that mix in.
Whistling a foul there. A note on Ruff. 7 clean sheets for her here this season. And had a career-high 11 saves against USF. Let's go back down to Maria for more on Kirsten.
Well, Aria, what if I told you that she didn't play goalkeeper when she arrived at Rice and she was a field player as a freshman? Now, she did tell me that earlier in her soccer career she had some time as a keeper, but when she came into Rice, they started moving her to that goalkeeper position because they were down a couple people and there were some injuries. So Ruff has been training every single year, just getting better and better. She said it's been an adjustment, but she seems to have made it seamlessly.
Maria, what's the weather like down there? What are field conditions like as your eyes and ears on the sideline?
It's hot, it's a little breezy, but definitely the sun is baking right now.
That's going to affect the players, no doubt. Morgan, from your playing days, if this match goes 110 minutes, as it has for both of these teams in their last game, wait for this attack. That's a pretty good ball. Top of the 18, a chance to switch the point. Staying with it and cleared off. There by Tennyson, but right to the Roadrunners' low-line driving shot. Is that O'Kelly who attempted it? Something a little different there to try and test Ruff. But how does that weather affect the players in a game like this?
It very much affects it, especially on a Sunday in general. And then you add in the fact that it's not just a normal Thursday-Sunday situation. There's been another round this week. So the legs are heavy. And also, when it comes to postseason time, games just have a different energy to them. And it's one of those things, you can make the excuses all day. You have all the feelings physically, and you have to put it out the window. But what I can promise you, these teams have proven that they can fight for 110 minutes and into PKs. They don't want it to go there. That is for sure.
You're telling me it's not this hot in Charlotte right now?
No, not at all.
Gotcha. You and I are both warm trying to do our open earlier. Wouldn't put on our jackets until the very last second to put the suits on and the ties and roll them up.
It's also one of those things, though, that as the heat and the legs and adding all that into the game, this is a game on a Sunday. You want to let the ball do the work, and I also think that's why we're seeing teams play a little bit more direct. They're not dribbling as much because that just takes more energy. So I'm not surprised to see it, but where I do just want to see shifts, and we saw UTSA just do it, be patient on the ball, let the ball do the work, find the width, and then that can create up open pockets. So if there is energy being exerted, it's quick little slip runs versus we've seen up top Brooklyn Bailey make these long runs. She's not going to be able to maintain that all game. So how can they let the ball do the work and put each other in better positions, more advanced up the field?
One or two of the minutes, the sheer number of minutes both of these teams' players have played all week will affect this one. Heavy touch. Top 20 teams highlight next Sunday afternoon's women's basketball schedule. It's 9th-ranked NC State hosting number 17 TCU at 1 Eastern on ESPN2. Then go over to ESPN2, and number 20 Louisville takes on Clemson at Little John Coliseum. You can always watch both on the all-new ESPN app. This is the third game of the week for both of these programs. Perhaps a little bit of a handball. This incidental. Keep on playing. Oh, when a player comes down and slow to get up, it's Bruckner. Niger, the senior from Tucson, Arizona. American Conference third-team member. Missed the end of last year with some injury issues. And her 3 goals on the year have all come in conference play. Here in 2025, she seems to be okay. We continue to play here. A little over 16 minutes to go. Aria Masudi, Morgan Bowen, Maria Tribal-Piece, our entire crew. And a shout out to them. They've been here all week covering this tournament. As that ball whipped in, it culminates with someone punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Service knuckling towards the spot it was dealt with. Now the Roadrunners, they'll recycle, try and build out of the back yet again. Their counter press works to perfection. Bailey.
Great turn.
Carrigan, first time, sticky hands from Ruff.
That was well done all around. This UTSA team was so patient. May was the one pulling the strings, finding the ball wide. Not the best service originally. They were able to recycle it. It's a fantastic ball sent across, but really well done from Ruff. No questions there. Confident catching that one right off her line, because that was a promising build-up for UTSA.
Whistle on that collision. It'll be a foul. Now a set piece coming here for UTSA. Kerrigan on your screen, that redshirt freshman from Tomball, Texas. Hot, humid conditions. Another player potentially cramping up here in Eileen Albers. Had the game-winning goal on Monday for Rice against Tulsa. Was a first-team All-Big South member at Radford prior to transferring here to Rice. Being told that the ACC is heading into PKs between the Irish and the Cardinal. Oh, baby.
I didn't think
that's
that
fitting,
won.
Isn't it, for that conference?
I was convinced there was going to be a winner in regulation. Notre Dame came back.
Those two teams went into the final day on decision day, both atop the standings. And it was Stanford who got the result, and the
ending.
Irish lost to Pitt.
That is a great ending.
That conference is loaded in the ACC. The American, whose depth has been on display as well here this season. Memphis, I think an underdog and a dark horse to get to the College Cup. They were upset in this tournament, right, by UTSA. It shows you what these teams can do going head-to-head on any given day. Maxwell. Her final ball was cut out. And a throw-in.
Aria, that was an interesting decision on the ball played wide from Kessler, because it looked like it was going to go in to the box, but then not the cleanest one sent across.
Miller there, ball is loose. Someone's on the end of it. We heard a whistle. Oh, flag went up, offside.
And it is so clear, this UTSA team, they want the ball wide, they're wanting the service in, and that's what I said, they're not just going to battle for the first ball, but it was the second one that came down and gave Maxwell that opportunity. And you have to credit Bryn Maxwell, because that ball was coming down. That was an outside of the foot with her right, and she was fully in control as that ball came off her foot, just missing the mark barely. Wouldn't have counted, but still really great technique on that shot.
See the Roadrunners, they have a pretty clear identity of what they want to do in the attack. Very direct. And Coach Pittman telling us, look, we're not just direct to be direct. I believe we can go through a team, around a team, or over the top of a defense. And it depends on the matchup and the game plan, but we don't want to waste movements. We want to get forward with intention, no matter what we choose.
Well, fast attacking football is what he called it. And I do think today we're seeing them wanting to go vertical very quickly. Definitely picking and choosing some. I do think when they've been patient and have decided to go around, it's opened up some other pocket. That's why I'm saying I would just like to see it a little bit more, knowing that they always have the ability in their back pocket to go vertical quickly.
You'd like to see a little bit more connecting of passes, maybe switch the point of attack, and then go directly.
I just feel like we've seen a better build-up. We've seen more players in the attacking third as well. And don't get me wrong, this Roadrunners team has dangerous players who don't need others around them. They can be special on their own. But when you're looking at Brooklyn Bailey, I'm also very mindful. This is a freshman playing in her first conference tournament, never played this far into college soccer. You're asking a lot of her if she continues to be your vertical threat every single time. But if you can switch things up, find the point. I think we've seen with Miller coming in at outside back, they've looked for her to serve a little bit more. Izzy Lane's been a little bit quieter since that substitution. But can this team slow down on the ball a little bit, get Zoe May, she's been the playmaker, can she switch the point, and then send the ball and still play direct, but at least pick and choose the moments versus everything going over the top.
A de facto hockey line change here for Rice, just trying to get some fresh legs into the match. It is a hot day here in Central Florida. Heard it's supposed to be cooler coming in, starting with tomorrow. State of Florida, enjoying a little bit of the breeze, some of that North Carolina
We're here on
weather.
the wrong day, Aria.
Under 12 to play in this first half, this opening stanza between the Owls and the Roadrunners. Our 5-6 matchup. UTSA already with one of the stunning results of the season, I would say, not just in the American, but in the country. A Memphis team.
I would agree with that.
Previously unbeaten, was taken down by this Roadrunner team. It took penalty kicks, and it took sheer chaos in the final 5 minutes of regulation. Down 3-1. Brooklyn Bailey and Aaliyah Durden. We're talking to Coach Pittman about just getting that first goal, right? Brooklyn Bailey scores, lifeline. Now the energy changes, the pressure flips on the Tigers to have to almost see that one out. And then the set piece that Durden was able to punch into the back of the net and send that game to OT. Tennyson was trying to play the ball forward. Here's Durden. Can't get into the midfield and does. Plays a ball into the path of Bailey. Can she get there before the touchline or the end line? She does on her right foot. Couple defenders converge. Not a lot of help. And the Owls win that numbers battle. Tenacity from Bailey to stay with it. Wins the ball back on a counter press. Individual effort. Cross. A lot of rocket fuel on it, and it'll go out.
Defensively, the way that Rice just worked together to get back behind the ball was really impressive, because Carson Martz was special out wide, number 20 in blue, as she lost the ball, and you see her directly tracking back, and then it's Jaden Jager who slid over to get to the ball first, but it's a great recovery run to get back behind it from Martz. Really well done on the defensive side, knowing that they then coughed it up, had to defend again, but that work put them in the position that they needed to be. So they weren't numbers out. It was from the recovery effort there from Martz.
Martz from nearby Tampa, Florida herself, went to Berkeley Prep. In her high school days, a cross into the box. Dangerous as Kessler comes out. She was off her line. But no damage done. Still 0-0 here in this opening 45 minutes. Shots are in favor of the Roadrunners, 6-3. Shots on goal, also UTSA 3-1.
Which, that kind of feels a little surprising.
Doesn't it?
Aria, I feel like Rice has had more of the sustained pressure around goal, and that might also be because we've seen more numbers getting forward for Rice in their opportunities. Like I've mentioned, it's felt a little bit more individual at times for UTSA. But that does feel, those stats feel a little bit different from what I would have expected. I think it would be a bit more even.
Leah Varela on your screen. Redshirt freshman from Rio Rancho that Coach Pittman said is an unsung hero who deserves a lot of credit. Doesn't have the stats to quite back it up. She really helps this Roadrunners team open up opposing back lines.
Something that was interesting, a couple minutes ago, there was a tackle between her and Nigel Bruckner, and Bruckner was about to be looked at, and you could hear on the field mics Varela just helping her up and say, "Here, get up." And she goes, "I wasn't being rude." And to me, what I took away from that is Varela's a competitor. She wants to keep going. The energy was high. UTSA was getting into tackles. They didn't want to stop that rhythm. And she's a competitor. She wanted to keep playing. That it's not surprising to hear a player like that has a big impact for her team, being more of the unsung hero.
Yeah, put it in a crazy shift against the Memphis Tigers in the semifinals. Usually goes 90 minutes and was born in San Antonio. Which is a cool little nugget there. But played at IMG, about 15 minutes away here in Bradenton, Florida. A terrific academy for a number of different sports. As Jackson in for Bailey, you can see it there popping out of the score bug. Our crew doing a great job of keeping you updated. Carson Martz on the throw. Varela. Some friendly fire off her own teammate. The Owls collect. Dropping it back for Martz. It'll go for a throw. And on that was Ava Jackson, number 7 in white. Morgan, what do you make so far as we approach the 40-minute mark? What have you liked from both teams? What's one adjustment, at least into the final 6.5 minutes of this first half?
I think we've seen both sides defensively play pretty sound. I mentioned a couple things I'd love to see differently from the UTSA backline, especially the relationship with Kessler, and I do think it's gotten better. I also don't think they've been as under as much pressure as they were a little bit earlier. But this is for UTSA.
Almost a hospital ball there. But it was cleared out from Kessler.
Yeah, Kessler quick off her line. That's what she needed to do because that was not the best ball back. This is a team I want to see them patient, pick and choose their moments. I love this idea to spring it wide.
Maxwell springs it wide, cross in. Owls get a deflection. Turn it the other way. And now a second ball off the body there of Jackson. And Ruff picks it up.
And what I want to see from the Roadrunners is let the ball do the work. But that also means that the players have to start their run into space. You could hear here on our side, Riley Miller wanted the ball wide. She started her run. If that was to play her into space, then she has time, opportunity to look forward. And on the other side for Rice, I think they've actually done a really nice job defending because they have had to maintain a lot of that, absorb a lot of the pressure that they're seeing from this UTSA team. Now that we've seen some line change happen, some shift, they're consistent in their back line. I just want to see more build through the middle. I think the way that they started, I think Albers got on the ball a fair amount up top, but we didn't hear as much from Duval. We didn't hear as much from Chansey. Now we have different players in, but how can they find the width as well? Because these weak sides are fully open in front of us right here, Aria. We have acres and acres of space, and I don't think that's been utilized enough for either side.
See if those coaches catch on to that. Still looking for our opener. Both teams have gotten close. We do have a combined 9 shots. Whistle, foul called on Zoe May, the captain. Third-team American Conference member who leads the team in goals. She's got 6 of them on the year, her 42nd consecutive start. We played at Memphis for a couple of years. That must have felt so good for her to get some revenge.
That would be a good win.
Scored a goal in that game, a opener against the Tigers, who then rattled off 3 straight before the heroics from the Roadrunners to force overtime in PKs. Direct ball in, and I'm not sure Kessler quite saw it cleanly. Defenders were blocking her. For as good as she's been in the first half, that was a nervy moment. It's a corner coming for the Owls.
When that ball drops right in front of the goal line, that's an area, as the goalkeeper, have to get your paws on it. Yell. Everyone in the stadium needs to know who's getting that ball.
Looks like 21, Laurel Kelly, the freshman from Missouri City, Texas, will do the honors. From that corner flag, terrific ball in. It steams into the 18. No Owls to quite peck the ball home. Durden, Love, looking to get forward out of the back. She is capable. A scrum in the middle. One back by the Owls. Here's Love playing it forward. Quarterman. And ball caught there by Kessler. I want to welcome you here to Lakewood Ranch, Florida, the premier sports campus in the American Women's Soccer Championship Final. 5-seed UTSA, 6-seed Rice. Nearing halftime here in Central Florida. Aria Masudi, Morgan Bowen, Maria Tribal Peace, our entire crew. I want to welcome those of you watching the ACC Championship game. Congrats to Stanford, who has the clean sweep. Regular season and the tournament. They win 5-4 on PKs over Notre Dame. That conference has been an absolute slugfest this season. Paul Radcliffe and the Cardinal, they find their first ACC championship.
Congratulations to to Stanford in that one. And I think what's so cool, leaving the ACC championship, is we don't always see the top 2 teams in the conference make it to the championship in the tournament. So I think that's a really good note for both of those teams, a great confidence builder. They're already confident. They know they're some of the best teams in the country, but just as they set their sights on NCAA, you don't always see that. So for an ACC fan, it's nice to see those 2 teams get a rematch and Stanford bringing it home.
Goes out here for a corner. A Rice team, the 6th seed, who took down Tulsa, as well as USF, needed PKs to advance here to the final in Central Florida. UTSA took down Memphis in the semis. It was a complete stunner. Scored 2 goals in the final 5 minutes to level it at 3-3. Went to overtime and won it in PKs. Still nothing doing, though, here in this final. Ball headed down towards that 6. Recycled ball rolls. And Kirsten Ruff, the junior out of Lambertville, New Jersey, on it. You take a look at that bracket. Both teams had to survive PKs to get here. And someone's going back to the NCAA tournament. And they're getting the auto bid for the first time in a couple of years.
There's so much to play for in this match, but we're definitely seeing both teams really trying to set themselves apart. These are teams that have battled, they've fought hard, and it's a Sunday, it's hot. Something I just love, though, in that last opportunity from the corner from UTSA was the back post run from Cloza. She was there exactly where she needed to be, and Aria, we haven't seen that throughout this whole first half. Oftentimes that ball has gone to the back post and no one's been there. That could easily be a game changer, especially knowing how both these sides can very much take advantage of set pieces.
A lot of you have been watching on ESPN News. Those of you on ESPNU, that's where our game will be for the second half. Final few moments of the first half. Still 0-0, one last crack at it. As Love had her shot blocked. So back in the 2020-2021 season, officially as they call it, and got to a 3rd round with a couple of upsets. UTSA was a member of Conference USA and was able to get to the NCAA tournament back in 2022. Aria Masudi, Morgan Bowen, a pleasure to be with you alongside Maria Trival-Peace and our entire crew. The American Conference Championship. 5-6 matchup. They've only got 45 minutes left to play. And one of these 2 teams will punch the automatic bid for the American Conference. Early corner in the half for the Roadrunner.
Well, and Aria, that was created from Ava Jackson. She only played a handful of minutes in the first half. We saw Bree Kerrigan not starting the second half, so you have to wonder if this is UTSA. They like to play direct, like to get the ball forward when they can. They want to play that fast. Are they making those adjustments to put them in a position to be able to do that, also knowing they want to be in this area. They want to force these set pieces.
3rd corner for the Roadrunners. Polo had a ball that's down and save made. Oh my goodness gracious. Kirsten Ruff had to be at her best there. That was quick.
And you could see how Ruff had to stretch, but this ball goes all the way to the far post, and it's just kept alive from Cloza, but also kept alive from Brooklyn Bailey right on the end line, sends it back across. That's a great decision from Bailey to keep it in the run of play, but Ruff was special there, getting low quickly.
Knocked forward. Connecting. Now with Zoe May, the captain.
Great decision.
All the way back.
Yeah, and you already see her putting her hands out on the ground. She wants the ball at her feet. Then she's able to be patient. She sprung it wide and kept it going to the side where it came from. But you're already seeing a little bit of a shift. One, bringing Jackson in, so UTSA has a player that they can stretch the back line with. And then also May is getting involved, which is exactly where she needs to be.
You think we'll see some runners trying to peel off of May checking too, and her becoming almost like the straw that stirs the drink?
You definitely could. I mean, even when you look on this left side of the midfield with Michelle Polo, she's a player that can change the game at any point in time, and I think she was a bit quiet in the first half, so I definitely do expect to see runners, but also just with this personnel and what they can create, I expect to see more from Polo in the second half.
Kirsten Ruff has 5 saves in this one, and she's one of the top keepers in the American. For more on her mentality and where she gets it from, down to Maria.
Well, Kirsten Ruff grew up near Philly, guys, so her mentality when she's in the net is called Psycho Philly. Her and her goalkeeper coach, Bella Kilgore, came up with it, and it's because it embodies how Philly sports fans are about their teams. So they're gritty, they're tough. Maybe they're a little crazy, and I could say this because I am a Philly sports fan, but that's how she embodies it in the net, and it helps her because she feels like an underdog sometimes, especially transitioning to that goalkeeper position, and it's helped her just be calm in those high-pressure moments.
Good report there. I'm sure Maria was ecstatic to watch the Eagles win the Super Bowl. You talk about chaotic Philly sports fans, that encapsulates them well, and Kirsten Ruff showing you that here in net here today with those 5 saves. Had a career-high 11 against USF in the semifinal. Now Rice inching forward. Martz plays it into the width. Bizarek onto her left foot. Towards the back post, onto the head of a teammate there. Ball is loose. Nervy moments. But Kessler able to get on it. Is that Bruckner on the end of the cross? It was indeed. Terrific chance.
Well, and this was one of the best opportunities from Rice. It's a fantastic ball sent across from Bazorek. And then it's a bit of a miscommunication on the back line. It's actually May getting tangled up there with Kessler. But that alone, we are seeing Rice patient in the midfield, find the ball wide, spring it there, and that's what's opened up spaces for both sides. I mentioned it, Arya, there's massive pockets of space right outside the center, and can they find the width to then be able to send it in?
Bruckner a little slow to get up. Third team American Conference member. Senior from Tucson, Arizona. Figuring out her cleat situation there is Bruckner, who's making her 20th appearance of the season for Brian Lee's Owls.
That was very nice to hold the play as well. Probably because they were in possession. Opposing team would not hold the play for that.
No doubt. It'll be a throw as Izzy Lane couldn't quite keep the ball from crossing the touchline.
Cam, go win this. Cam, get in front of her. Cam, get in front of her.
Potential chance for a long throw here from Callie McKinney.
Izzy, go!
And she does just that. The de facto set piece opportunity here for Rice.
No corner post, no corner post.
Towards that end line. And a corner coming. In the end there, that'll be the 4th. As defending was Michelle Polo. Both coaches felt like these set pieces could be the difference. All it takes is one. Scoring nearly half of their goals did both of these programs this season on set pieces.
And Arya, keep an eye on number 12, Eileen Albers, right in front of the goalkeeper.
Corner kick headed down in the box. A scramble for it, shot, deflects, and cleared, but off the body of a player in blue. Durden couldn't quite get it out of her own box. A goal kick, though, in the end of that sequence. The UTSA team, who notched a school record 9-game undefeated streak earlier this season, lasted from August 31st until October 9th. And then a rough month of October. They went 2-3-1. And a foul called there. UTSA, they figured themselves out. And talking to Coach Pittman about their 3-match losing streak, they find a 3-1 win at Temple, brought the confidence back into the locker room. And he said their togetherness kept them fighting through those battles. And then you come out here right to Lakewood Ranch, and it's anybody's ball game, and you just will yourself round after round. So now you're one game away from making it back to the NCAA tournament.
And Ari, that's also an example of the little things that happen throughout a season and the little conversations as a team or what happens at training, how it all comes to fruition.
Direct ball into the box, cleared away, Durden.
And those moments matter because teams find out who they are, and tactics go out the window this late in a game, this late in a conference tournament. Everyone is tired. No one's playing their best game. And what you need to have is that togetherness, that grit, that will to win, because that is what can separate one team from the other, from making it to the NCAA tournament or not. And I think what makes this game so special, we've talked a lot about UTSA and that, and it's more on display with what they just did against Memphis. But Rice feels so similarly as well, and this is a team where they feel as a unit, they can battle. They know they have to match it from UTSA, but they can do that as well. And that's what I'm saying is when it comes to this, in tactics, we could talk about it all day, but this comes down, there's 38 minutes left. A lot of it is playing out within set pieces. Who is going to jump and clear the ball defensively, and who is going to jump and get there first on the attacking side? And I just don't think we've seen a separator yet thus far.
The mental battle for both of these programs seeking their first American championship in program history. Corner kick here for UTSA from that left corner flag, in swinging ball, back post, punched out by Ruff, not out of the woods yet. Second shot deflected. Terrific defending, emergency defending from the Owls. UTSA is trying to recycle it, but it'll go for a goal kick. Tonight on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app, our next men's basketball matchup is Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears hosting 2-0 Washington. A good early season test for both at 8:30 Eastern and 5:30 Pacific. Nice work from Varela to craft out some space in the end, though. The final ball a little too heavy. Not a bad idea. Trying to use the width in the channel there on the right side.
Well, and when we were talking with Derek Pittman, he was sharing how he felt like Varela, 4 and white, was a player that doesn't get noticed enough. And just from watching her with a little bit of a different POV, knowing that that's something the head coach feels, you watch it a little bit more in this game. And I think that's so true. I don't think we've called her name enough. With the little work that she does on the ball, like you said, that last one, just to be patient and find the ball. It's also her movement to open herself up, to allow herself to do the footwork on the ball. So the little movement she makes. Also in the last chance where we saw really good defending from Rice, she was in the mix with that as well. That I think Leah Varela is a player that underneath that front line, she really creates a lot in the middle for this UTSA team, and also does a ton of work on the defensive end. I mean, how many times have we talked about Leah Chansey?
Not a ton,
Rice?
not many
Not
touches.
a ton. And she's in that attacking midfield. They're finding themselves matched up a bit. Also, Zoe May is part of that on the defensive end for UTSA, but I think Leah Varela has done a fantastic job today in the middle.
Yeah, it was a good question you guys asked earlier about give me a player who doesn't get as much credit as they should. And Coach Pittman went right to Varela.
What I also love about that question is that, in my opinion, it shows how a team likes to play also. It gives the player credit for what they should have, but oftentimes that player that doesn't get spoken enough about can be the unlock for a team, and if they weren't doing that work, it wouldn't set a team up to play the way that they do.
In many ways, it's the type of tone-setting ability that comes from players that receive less media accolades.
And are okay with that, and know that they're playing in a bigger piece, and I think that is so key to every single team.
Well, making it to the NCAA tournament, something they can all share if they can get there. Something that would make both the Roadrunners and the Owls gratified about the week they have had here in Lakewood Ranch. The work that it's taken, it's a lot of minutes on the legs. You're not used to quite playing 3 in a week. And there's not any training sessions that you can have that quite prepare you to play at this level, to be in this type of game shape. You're fighting for your season at this point for both of these teams. Is the at-large probably not there for either one if they lose. RPIs in the high 60s and 70s when I looked at it this morning. But thank goodness for the auto bid. And it's 0-0, and you have a shot. On the cross, almost a half shot of sorts. And Ruff had to be strong. She was. Those can sometimes be the toughest balls to read.
It's going to take more, though, to get past Kirsten Ruff. I think she's been fantastic today. I think she's been solid, quick off her line. We knew that her service, whether it be from a goal kick, from a punt, that she could really ping the ball and set a lot for Rice on the attacking end. But I think Ruff has been the anchor that they needed her to be in net. She's been fantastic today.
And a lot of players go down and slow to get up. I've got another one. This time for the Road Runners. And is that Varela? I believe so, yes indeed. Teammate came to help her stretch out. She goes, I'm good.
No thanks.
I'm just going to lay down here for a minute.
Thanks.
Direct ball into the box towards that spot. Trying to put some pressure there on that back line. Substitute coming for the Road Runners. That is Bree Kerrigan, the redshirt freshman. Not a ton of minutes for Kerrigan this season. Only about 200 if you include today.
Well, Aria Kerrigan was the player early on in the first half, creating a lot on this right flank on our near side in the first 45. So now with having her, you see Polo getting higher again. We've seen all game Brooklyn Bailey has been creating a lot up front, just really wreaking havoc all over the field, getting into tackles, getting in behind the line. But Kerrigan, a player who can combine coming in on that right side.
The Roadrunner team known for their defense, needing some work from Kerrigan and the attackers. You get the feeling one goal might be enough in this matchup. Direct pieces, important, terrific save. On the header down, and Ruff again.
Well, and Aria, it's Brooklyn Bailey once again. This is a big ball sent in from Cameron Cloza. What's difficult about this from Bailey is that has to be a flick to someone else. She's too far. Her balance is taking her away from frame. To try to head that and flick it on, it's not going to have enough power to go into the far post. She's a young player, though. That's also a really difficult thing to ask a young player to maybe hold the ball or just flick it in behind. So I love her idea. I love her tenacity getting up for that. Just where she is expecting that to flick, it's a really tough bet.
Zavarella was hovering around in case there was a spill at the net. A couple of subs coming in for Rice, including Camille Quarterman, a sophomore from Norcross, Georgia. Talked to Camille's dad earlier today before the matchup, and he asked if I was broadcasting the game. I said, yes. He goes, I'm nervous. I said, I bet you're more nervous than Camille is. He goes, absolutely. You could see it in his eyes. Wished us luck on the call.
Oh, that's sweet. That's something you think about, too, with the parents and what they put in, and especially when you have players towards the end of their career. It is nervy, and they give so much, and they're fully supportive, and it easily could be the end of a huge chapter for them, or the start of something really exciting with the NCAA tournament. A lot of emotions there.
We was proud of Camille with goals against UT Rio Grande Valley and FAU, her 2 goals on the year. Boy, if she could find one on this Sunday afternoon in Lakewood Ranch, that might be one of the proudest moments of her career, her family's career. Under 30 to play. 6 seed Rice, 5 seed UTSA. The American will be a 2-bid league. Memphis will get in as an at-large. They were upset by UTSA in the semis in penalties. And one of these two will have the auto. Switching the point of attack. This is good. Here is Quarterman.
It's a great ball over to Quarterman.
With pace, Quarterman can fly. Has that flank. Turns on the Jets. Izzy Lane meets her there. And it'll go out for a throw. Quarterman's speed on display. Terrific pace from a couple of players.
Well, and Aria, Izzy Lane does a really nice job defensively of bringing her run across. She's not running right alongside Quarterman. She comes at a diagonal, gets her body involved, ends up going to ground, which I don't think is fully necessary. Now they're stuck defending once again.
Direct throw. Tense moments on that back line for UTSA, but cleared away for the time being. You get that feeling, Morgan, it's going to take one missed touch and finding the ball at your feet 6 to 10 yards out, right, to find that opening goal. And maybe it'll be the game winner. Now it's going to go the other way. That was Allie Love, who took it a tumble, the sophomore from Colleyville. Led the team last year in assists with 7 of them in her rookie campaign. This Rice team 10-3-6, only dropped 2 conference games all year. They drew 5 times in American League play. What a turnaround it's been. Just a couple of years ago, Rice was 3-13-2 with just 1 win in conference play, and got off to a terrific start this year, 8-1-1. As Varela, who's taken another spill. See if she can get back up on her feet here, slow to get up. Looks like she will be able to keep going. I do want to remind you the top 20 teams highlight next Sunday afternoon's women's basketball schedule. 9th-ranked NC State hosting number 17 TCU at 1 o'clock on ESPN. Then on ESPN2, number 20 Louisville takes on Clemson at Littlejohn. Shot here, terrific save. Ruff has been asked to come up big a couple of times and has done well. That will credit her with save number 7 of the afternoon.
Michelle Polo is a player that has the ability to dribble at the back line and let one go. We haven't seen her do that a ton today. That could be the start of something. Is she finding a little bit of a rhythm, especially in this left side pocket?
Oh, missed touch there. As Jordan Merriam was looking for Quarterman, not on the same page. UTSA looking for a quick strike. Bailey on that left side. Occupies the width. Cross. Cut out by Merriam, who read it well. Now some spaces are opening up. Huge tackle there. We might even get a booking. Stoppage of play. And a little late on the slide. And there is the yellow and the caution for Riley Miller.
And that's a hard tackle. It's Zhang on the ball. Miller just comes in late, gets her right at the back of the knee. She was lucky that wasn't anything worse, because that was very late. I love the intensity from Miller getting in there, but her timing is way late on that tackle.
No kidding. Fortunate to only be given a yellow. Ball into the box. Headed away. I'll give some credit, though, to Melinda Homa. Probably doesn't want to turn this into an 11-on-10 matchup with a conference title on the line. That'd be a big call in that moment, but no doubt, Morgan, you're right. Borderline for sure, so just a yellow. First caution of the game as Tennyson back in there for Marks. A little over 26 to play here in Lakewood Ranch. Been an outstanding week in Central Florida. Oh, incoming for Rice.
And Ari, we haven't talked too much about Cameron Cloza, but she's been fantastic on the back line. First team, all conference. she's won almost every single header that's come her way. She gets up, battles. Her timing has been really good from the center back position, getting into tackles.
Quarterman in line. Final touch was by the Owls. Couldn't quite get in the position needed, but Quarterman found herself in a pretty good spot in front of goal.
Well, Quarterman just sneaks in on the weak side and finds herself in behind the outside back and the center back, just in that pocket of space. And I think that's been the biggest story of this game, is I don't think either team has exploited that space enough. I don't think they've either seen it, or if it's there, they haven't found the ball to it. But Quarterman just there sneaking in, it wouldn't have mattered. But she's at least able to see the open space and find her way in, and that's been a difference for Rice in the second half.
And for more on the senior from San Antonio, we welcome back in Maria.
Well, you guys were just talking about Cam Cloza, and her sister actually played for Derek Pittman at UTSA. He said they're two of the toughest players that he's ever coached. He gave a lot of credit to their dad, who was a football coach himself. And he said he would do anything for the Cloza sisters because they have represented UTSA so well. When Cam came to be a road runner, she just knew that it would be a great spot for her because of the way Pittman treated her sister as well.
No doubt about that, Maria. And appreciate the insights. She's meant a lot to this program. There's a foul going the other way on the Owls. And you need that veteran leadership, right? The calming presence that they have. And no doubt she's been instrumental on this run here this week in Lakewood Ranch.
And Cloza joined UTSA coming from Texas Tech, so she's played in those big games. And that's also a team that Texas Tech plays against some really good attackers. Their defense year over year is really good, but that was really an interesting story, just talking with Derek Pittman and hearing how much the Cloza family meant to him. And just, he told us he was an emotional guy, and you could kind of sense some of that the way that he was talking about Cam Cloza and just what she's meant to this program. And so happy that they got her transferring to UTSA.
So strong in the air, like you mentioned, Morgan. One of the best defenders in the league, wearing that captain's armband as well. It'll be a throw here for UTSA. Cameron would love to see her Roadrunners punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Substitution. Bryn Maxwell in for Michelle Polo. Maxwell, the freshman from Zionsville, has a ball spilling in the box. Zionsville's in Indiana. You get caught in between looking at roster and the ball finds at the penalty spot. You're like, uh-oh. Head on a swivel. Another player goes down.
You're like an athlete. You got to keep your head on the swivel.
No, but mentally an athlete.
Center midfielder.
Yeah.
Always a head on the swivel.
Physically not quite as sharp as mentally, that's for sure. It's been a long week here in Lakewood Ranch. Maria's got more down there pitch side.
Well, the first half in particular, guys, was incredibly hot. The sun was baking down here on the pitch. Now, it has cooled off a little bit, and there is a breeze, but we've talked about it this entire match, how many games these young women have played. So you see that, along with the heat, playing a role in some of the cramping that we're seeing on the field.
Thank you, Maria Morgan. How do you battle that? It's tough. I got to be, right?
It's tough, and it's one of those things, you can't change it. So you just accept it, and it becomes mental for sure. And that's why I've been saying this whole game, tactics tend to go out the window. And also what made this matchup so interesting is that the teams drew in the regular season. So it's not like there's a result they have to hold on. This is a brand new game, and it's also coming to terms with the fact that as a player, you're not going to be as fresh as you want to be. But can you find that energy, that motivator to help you push through? And as this clock winds down, as a senior, you see that clock, and it is an internal motivator, knowing just that the time that you have left, there's not as much. Or if you have that extra piece and you put that one away, you get a whole nother week with your team, another game. So it becomes mental, and you have to be internally motivated. And I think that's what's special about hearing from both of these teams and the prep leading up to this game is they both have it. It's in their culture. But when you're evenly matched there, who's actually going to step up and make the difference?
So Addie O'Kelly walking off there for UTSA. And perhaps the run of play not going to be as clean as you'd like, and that's why both coaches felt set pieces would be important here today. But both teams dealing with it. You got to know if you're on the pitch they're playing that nobody's fresh at this point. It's a battle of will and sheer determination. Quarterman trying to get around Lane. Terrific defending from Lane to get a body into Quarterman. And her teammate cleans it up there behind her, Varela.
And the goal kick. So that was really big defending on the flank, both from Lane. There's been a few times Quarterman has squared up and gone directly at Lane. Lane has not backed down. She does not give her any space. She actually goes in for the first tackle with the outside of her foot, runs so tightly on her shoulder, does not give any space. And Varela, really nice job sliding over, creating no more time for Quarterman to create.
You saw there that final touch was on Quarterman, but they found some opportunities in Quarterman right here on this right side to try and use her pace to get forward.
It's definitely clear that she's a big part of the attack for Rice, especially in the second half. So much has come up this side.
Into the attack there on the cross. Deflection. Top of the 18. Shot deflected there. It's going to whisk her wide. It was Maxwell who was nearest. Is that a corner? Indeed it is. It took that deflection. And it's going to be corner kick number 5.
Well, and that chance shows UTSA and what they can do. It's going quick. It's being decisive. That ball back across it, that comes cleanly to the foot of Zoe May. I think that one ends up in the back of the net. But this is an area they've proven that they can be hungry around the box. They have the targets on set pieces.
Varela, low line drive. It skips across there at the 6. Shot! It was saved. Was it off the post as well? Inches away from the opener. And the set piece, that might have been the moment for UTSA.
When you can feel the energy shifting, it's a great ball sent in from Varela. It's a bit of a dummy. It gets all the way through and then falls to Bailey. That was the best chance that we've seen.
Cross. A little too heavy. That was again Maxwell. On the service from Bailey. You see Maxwell's hunting there inside this 6-yard box. Bailey, no doubt, fatigued. Trying to just will herself forward. They call her BB Brooklyn Bailey. Has played so many different positions, center, attacking, mid, forward. Arrived on campus in January in San Antonio. He's had a phenomenal freshman campaign. Bazorek in, Zhang out. As Chancey comes in too. Bailey plays it forward. Maxwell. That's going to be a goal kick. Back down to Maria for more on Brooklyn Bailey.
Well, as you said, she arrived on campus in January, and when I caught up with her earlier in the week, she told me that was such a difference for her adjusting to college soccer life. She was able to be around her teammates more, and as she's been able to progress, she's become more of a leader because her teammates trust her and she trusts them. So she is a freshman, but she's playing like an older player, certainly.
No doubt about it, and actually was high school teammates with Kessler as that ball is in, shot deflected. Right back, though, to Maxwell. Kerrigan angles for a cross, headed away. And cleared out here by Rice. They're going to try and play through. You can see the counter press working for UTSA. It is a throw-in for Rice.
Well, this whole back line of UTSA is also pushed forward, so Izzy Lane was able to get a touch there. They lost possession, but the ball still stays in a very dangerous area. You can see the shape from UTSA trying to force Rice into their pressure to cough up the ball.
Bodies flying everywhere. The far side of your screen. Occupying some space now and finding the middle of Bazorek. Running at this back line, nice move. Terrific recovery by Lane.
Fantastic defending. Lane is just picking the ball off her attackers.
Takes a touch off a defender. That was Jager. But how about Lane and the run she just made from defense all the way past midfield?
She's been so smooth as an outside back, getting into tackles with the forwards, or at least closing the angles so that they can't create anything. But we're seeing such a shift in the energy. UTSA getting forward, being more clear on frame. 4 goals in the second half from set pieces, 3 of which have been on frame for UTSA.
Quarterman now has flipped sides. She's on the left side now in the attack for Rice. You can see her there top of your screen. Nodded forward. Quarterman making that run through ball. Push to the outside.
Well, and Rice has moved Quarterman over because Izzy Lane isn't allowing her any time and space on this right side. So Rice has shifted her over to the left. We see a substitution coming now, but if we see Quarterman come back in, I'd be curious if they play her on the left. Does she decide to cut in on her right foot, get it where she's dominant, and then go directly to frame, or do they want to keep her wide for service?
Here's our Week 10 Monday Night Football matchup. Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. The 6-2 Eagles come off the bye. They take on Jordan Love and the 5-2-1 Packers at Lambeau Field, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes, as well as the all-new ESPN app. With Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. Coverage kicks off with us. NFL Live at 3 Eastern in Green Bay, and then Scott Van Pelt and the Monday Night Countdown crew at 6 Eastern. Into the attack here now. Shot, save, Ruff. Biggest save of the day. My goodness. Kirsten Ruff is putting on a show. You felt like that was the moment for the Roadrunners.
Kirsten Ruff is the reason why this game is still 0-0. This is a good ball right in behind, but it's in the path of Brooklyn Bailey. She picks the right time to let this one go, but Kirsten Ruff, nothing is getting by her right now. And taking another look. Look how focused Bailey is. Takes a quick glance up to see where she needs to go. Ruff has closed down the angle, is able to get her hands up to block that one. We said Kirsten Ruff's name a few times, saying that might have been the save of the game. There was another big one, but none bigger than what we just saw.
That was the 8th save for Ruff. She has been as advertised. The junior from Lambertville, New Jersey, went to Princeton Day School in her prep career. And those types of saves, that just energizes your team.
100%, especially when they've struggled to create some opportunities on the attacking end. To have a goalkeeper stepping up absolutely sets the tone and injects some energy for this group.
Maxwell goes down. She was fouled.
And it's just 2 players going in for the ball. Martz gets her leg up, doesn't go for ball, kind of runs through Maxwell a bit. And this might not seem like much, Aria, because it is pretty close to the halfway line, but we have seen UTSA make the most of these opportunities. And I said it earlier, watch the second ball, watch the third. If the first one doesn't connect, if it's still alive, they still know that they have a chance.
Close up. Good service. Nearing that penalty spot. Top of the 18. Shot. Save. Ruff again. Are you kidding me, Kirsten Ruff? She's just firing up her teammates. UTSA goes down. Oh, it's a dangerous spot for a set piece now for the Roadrunners. Right outside the box.
Well, and here's another chance, but Ruff will be ready for it because this was an incredible opportunity for UTSA. The ball is bouncing around. I love this decision from Maxwell just to play it back to Vickers. She strikes that so cleanly, runs through the ball, but a massive save once again from Kirsten Ruff.
Morgan, where does this ball have to be placed on the free kick?
It has to bend through right around the 6 because it forces Ruff off of her line. The defense is dropping for Rice. Then you have your attackers running in. Watch it bend right around the 6 to give your team the best opportunity.
Varela and Lane. It's Lane who does it. Terrific ball. Whipped in. Top of the 18, it's cleared out.
Aria, what's tough about that one is it has to beat the first line of defense. So it has to go over that back line as it's curling to give runners in behind a chance.
Kessler hurrying to get back on her line. Rice into the attack on the counter. Switching the point. Bazurek to her left foot. Drops it back. Miriam. Martz. Her service. Knotted into the air, and in the end, harmless.
Aria, how quick that transition happened. You could feel the energy in this stadium, the energy from the field, getting a little bit tense because UTSA had also just sent all of their players forward, so that's a full sprint trying to get back behind the ball. They were a bit lucky with Albers taking that first time. Her body's facing away from frame, not the most power behind the header. They got a bit lucky there, though, because Rice has proven in transition they can go quick, too, and catch this Roadrunner team out of position.
Ball played forward. And it'll be a throw for UTSA. Are there spaces right now, Morgan, you feel like both teams can utilize in this final 11 and a half minutes to try and find the game winner?
It's going to be situational depending on what is happening. I actually think Rice's best opportunity in a while came from a quick direct ball. So the ball in behind, especially Albers, seems to be pretty fresh still and able to run in behind. So I think that is on for them. And I think when it comes to UTSA, it's this weak side, or at least the pockets in the midfield. Can they continue to find Varela? Can she pop off to then get the ball wide into the flank?
Shot here, blocked, staying with it, Bailey. Varela on the attack, she goes down, play on. Lane speed nearly cuts that out.
Great ball.
What a ball forward. Could this be the moment for Rice? Bodied away. Durden did just enough. And Albers shaken, she's staying down. Into the attack, ball lofted towards that board. It skies just over. Don't hate the idea.
I don't hate that idea one bit. And you asked me what spots would be open. I do think it's situational because I also think Rice just chose the right moment to spring it wide. But that ball in that slipped into Albers was so dangerous. I love this tackle. Staying on it is Bazurek, and she plays this with the perfect amount of texture in behind, but really well done defensively from Durden. She's special there. But Rice able to win it back and then get forward. So I think we're at the point, it's direct. It doesn't matter what the tactics are. These teams are fighting, they're digging deep, and also have a bit more energy in this final 10 after opportunities for both sides.
Under 10 minutes to play. It's been goalless, but definitely not heartless, that's for sure. Both teams have put it all on the line. A combined 27 shots, 18 of them for UTSA, 9 of them for Rice. They're still looking for the game winner. All it'll take is one. Oh, nervy moments there and got lucky. Rice will have a goal kick, but Jaeger almost lost the ball in a dangerous spot with Maxwell lurking.
And she's trying to hold off the player so that Ruff can come off her line. At that point, Ruff is just saying, just kick it, get it out, go wide, go far. It doesn't matter where, just get rid of the ball. But I also don't blame Jaeger there for trying to hold off her attacker because we've seen Ruff come off of her line so much.
Allie Love back in for Albers. One last push for both of these teams. The automatic bid up for grabs in the American. Here is Love, just checked it. Running on that. It was intended for Duval. It's a throw for Rice. Olivia Duval, who Brian Lee told us, an unsung hero, a player who deserves more credit for the Owls. Said she doesn't have the stats to back it. She's so important in our attack. And that'll be a corner here for Rice. It'll be their 5th. And perhaps another opportunity for Duval and the Owls to find the game winner. Fans here are on pins and needles.
I'm on pins and needles.
No doubt. Corner kick. Played short. Dropped back, 1v1 now, edge of that 18 on the turn, shot, blocked. Well done by the Roadrunners.
When Riley Miller just read that, closed the space completely from Chansey getting forward. And that's a name, Leah Chansey. We have not called it a ton for Rice. You have to credit this UTSA back line and midfield for really limiting the opportunities for a really good attacker in Chansey.
Top 3 in the American in goals with 10 of them on the year. A pro mentality for Leah Chansey, first team American. After being the offensive player of the year 1 season ago, came in to the year top drawer. Soccer had her at 67th in their top 100 players in the country. But does she have her best for last? Does she have a trick up her sleeve for Rice here? Strikers, all they need is a moment, a blink of an eye, and a flash of a pan. And that would mean Rice would be heading back to the NCAA tournament. Under 7 minutes to play, clock stops. Chansey, who has been dynamite all season long in the American. Coaching staff called her a safety blanket, knowing that they can get the ball to her feet. But credit UTSA, they have made life miserable on her here today.
When we see UTSA bringing Michelle Polo back in as well, so she's fresh. She's a player that can change the game at any point in time.
Six and a half to go. Overtime would be next, with PKs as an option as well after that. Both teams went to PKs in the semis, playing a full 110 minutes, and that's another wrinkle in this too, right? It's been a long week, and it hasn't really been easy for any of them. They haven't just breezed through the tournament. They've had to earn it by playing extra minutes. It's almost like they've played now almost 4.5 games when you combine all the minutes together.
Yeah, you're not wrong with that. And something that's interesting too is neither one of these teams wants this to go to PKs, but if that were to be the case, they're both feeling confident with how they got the win in their semifinals. But what's so interesting about this Rice team as well, head coach Brian Lee, they're so confident in their penalty kicks. They start taking it well over a month out before the tournament, just to be prepared, to make sure they have their routine, to make sure they have the right number in order of who's going to be taking them. So it's not a place that either one wants this to go to, and also in 2 different ways, feeling really confident if that is to be the case.
A yellow card was issued, by the way, to the UTSA bench. Into the attack now, forward. Heavy ball. Maria, what are you hearing down there?
It was to the assistant coach, Rob McGann, for UTSA. You can just feel the intensity right now, guys, picking up on the sidelines, both players and coaches, and so I think that was a result of that.
That's the second yellow issued here in this one. Now both on UTSA. Looking down at my notes. A little over 5 to play. Coach Pittman's gone to the backwards cap. That's the rally cap. Our 5-6 matchup. And one that not many people thought we would get to. Memphis, who had basically cruised all season long in the regular season, the American, stunned by UTSA in the semis. And they were up 3-1 with 5 minutes to go. There's a bump and a foul. You see the pathway to the championships. First beating UAB, who was the 4 seed, then taking down Memphis. The Roadrunners have had to earn it. They've had to show a lot of resiliency. And Rice, they've shown resiliency as well. Finding 1 goal to beat Tulsa. Played a very similar game to the one today against USF. No goals, but into PKs. And tournament setting, the only thing that matters is the result. You don't get style points. Are we headed back to overtime for a second consecutive round? The Owls into the attack. Pushing forward. Duval. Bizoric. Couple defenders converge. She needs help. Has her drop. She wants it. She has it. Martz. Back to Bizoric. Acres of space now to carve something out. Puts it on frame. Headed away. And cleared out of the box. And past midfield. Varela. Forward into the path of Bailey. Ruff able to clear. Three to go.
You can see the idea is there, and Rice is showing that they want to play at that point in time when they win the ball in the center of the park. Center midfielders looking to play it wide, but this is the time your team is exhausted, playing it a little bit into space. This has to go direct. Things have to shift. But something also, Aria, I've been kind of interested. We haven't seen a team make a big tactical formation, and oftentimes we can see that towards the end of the game if looking to get a win. So it's clear that if this isn't won in the 90 minutes, these teams are bought in and locked in for overtime. Is there going to be a game winner there, or if it has to go to PKs?
Who does overtime favor if we go there? Anybody?
I just think with the goals that we've seen, it would lean towards UTSA, because this is also a Rice team. They have battled for essentially 200 minutes and have not scored in regulation.
Rice trying to make sure it doesn't go to overtime. Love was closed down quickly. Terrific ball forward. Oh, flag had gone up. I was wondering why Brooklyn Bailey was so open. I got my answer.
Well, and that's really well done on the Rice back line. Just awareness to know, okay, if that ball turns over quickly, one, they don't want to be too out of position if Bailey is able to step up and stay on side, but really well done just to catch her there and give them one last opportunity, essentially, from a big set piece if the ball bounces around. I've been a little surprised UTSA defensively, their two center backs go up together for the ball. So watch as this second one comes down, the positioning.
Into the box. Duval switches to her left foot, cross. Love, deflection, forward. 1 minute to play. Is overtime on the horizon. 50 seconds away now. Owls looking for one last chance. Martz on her right foot. Cross whip. Did it take a deflection? If the answer is no, it's a goal kick. It is a goal kick indeed. Quarterman looks to be running back on. 35.7 seconds left in regulation. Allie Love will take a breather. Kessler has a huge leg. You can see it on your screen. 50 yards. Did the Roadrunners have any last opportunities in regulation? It's Rice who collects at midfield. Still some time, 14 seconds. Quarterman can really fly. Jordan able to clear it away. 7 seconds now. And the American,
who's been incredible this game, especially in the second 45. And then Leah Varela, I've sang her praises a bunch today, and I will continue for this UTSA side.
Here we go. Lakewood Ranch, Florida, the Premier Sports Complex. Aria Masudi, Morgan Bowen, and Maria Trival Peace alongside our entire crew. in Central Florida. The American has a auto bid up for grabs. And one of these two teams looking for their first American championship in program history. I asked Derek Pittman what it would mean to UTSA. Have you had a chance to think about it? He said, yeah, briefly. It would be huge for our program and for this group and what they've been through. So I'm an emotional guy, and I've got to try and keep them focused on the 90 minutes at hand, and now what could be even 110 minutes in PKs. But that group deserves it. Their resiliency all year. And Brian Lee told us the same. He said, you got to play a soccer game in front of you, right? Can't make it bigger than it is. No doubt, though, that's everyone's dream, to make it to the NCAA tournament. Their dream can be a reality. All you need is a goal, and that ends this one. All Brian Lee can do now is bark out instructions. The game plan at this point is to just find a goal, just to survive. That's the only tactic that matters. You are in the wilderness, and it's just your sheer will to survive here in this final. Skipping forward into the attack for UTSA. On the ball, Duval. Turns, was looking to switch the point. Too heavy with the cross. It's a throw for UTSA. Both teams prepared for this stage. They literally had to do it in their semifinals just to advance. Both have been practicing for this since August. Conditioning as best as they can, preparing for penalty kicks. Kessler blasts it forward.
Hey, he needs to see you. You ran by you. Come on, Cole. Hey.
That was Ava Jackson on your screen a moment ago. Transfer from Arkansas.
Well, and Aria, you can tell that break in between regulation and overtime, these teams are trying to find their rhythm once again. And I think as we were finishing the first half, Rice was very much finding their momentum and their rhythm. And then we, of course, saw some chances with UTSA, but that break kind of halted it for both sides. The first couple minutes of this overtime has been very disjointed, some stop and go. The ball is going out a ton, and that is not allowing either team to find their rhythm. And like you said, when it comes to overtime, it just takes one opportunity and it ends, and there's a winner. And oftentimes when that momentum is struggling to be established, it can make it a bit harder.
Both teams trying to grow into this overtime period. You can see, as Morgan alluded to, about halfway done now with the first overtime period. Keep in mind, a goal does end it. It is sudden victory, golden goal. Duval into the width. From wide area, cross forward, skips down. Kessler has it.
And that was a good ball wide from Olivia Duval. She gets it on her foot. We've seen Bazorek all day send these crosses in. It's not a bad ball, just the way that the way that the cross is tailing into the goalkeeper. Chansey's not able to get on the other side. But Piper Bazorek has been an unlock throughout this whole game for Rice when they find her wide.
Ball played over. Pretty good weight on the pass. Terrific job, though, by Jager. She had it read. It was the last line of defense, literally.
Well, and I've been really impressed from Jaden Jager, the co-freshman of the year in the American Conference, and she's just been very patient back there. She doesn't seem to be rattled. She's done a nice job maintaining her line, covering when needed, but just her presence, she's very calming on the back line.
On that cross, it'd take a deflection. It did, a corner. Emily Ekman, first action. The freshman from Sweden found herself occupying a dangerous spot. And it's corner number 6 now for the Roadrunners. Could a set piece be the deciding factor here in our first overtime? It's Riley Miller, the senior, from the right flag. Oh, and she got it all wrong. And that's where the tired legs, not just physically, but mentally as well.
Well, and she definitely is going to want that one back. She also had Leah Varela wide open, essentially at the top corner of the box, wanting the ball. But at that point, you also trust your set piece taker. Miller, just a bit of a mishit.
Duval angling. Her shot on goal saved. Kessler was asked a question. She had the answer.
Oh, and that was very promising for Olivia Duval. She has a bit of a stutter to create just enough space for her to get this out. Her angle is so tight in closing, but a really nice job from Kessler just tracking that, because that had a chance for Rice.
Rice again. Albers, Duval. Duval left foot for the shot, sliding. Wow, how about Aaliyah Durden? Take a bow. That's emergency defending at its finest, and she might have saved UTSA's season.
The way that Aaliyah Durden just tracked that run when her outside back got beat. Duval was in behind, the ball was on her left, and it wasn't just the way that Durden recovered, but the timing of that tackle, Aria. It was so clean, a full-on block of the shot. Really well done.
Leah Durden, who Derek Pittman said was one of the biggest surprises on his team coming into the year, battled injuries in high school, went to junior college, and has become a pillar of the back line and this Roadrunner team here in this 2025 season. The junior college All-American at Seminole State College. And this is pure heart on the line.
Well, and this is Durden, just the timing. She's in behind. She knows she has to go with her left leg to get a touch there. And Aria, like you said, a fantastic story about Aaliyah Durden. They actually played against UTSA. And that was just a player that they knew they had to have.
Kerrigan, terrific move, springs into the box, on her left, shot! She finds the net! UTSA headed to the NCAA tournament. They are the American champions. A thriller in overtime in Lakewood Ranch.